somewhat of a promise that I made to myself and I made to God, that as long as I'm breathing, whatever the purpose is that I have on this earth, I can and I will. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be corrections, you know, within my ways of doing things and how I handle things. But I'm open to learning and always being a student. I just want to get it right as best as I can before I go home, because we all will expire one day.
True.
And I just pray that when I do, everything that I've done on earth has, you know, shed light on who God is and that is possible. And if you believe, you can achieve.
Take a second to look around. I can feel the smiles. Let me break it down. Take it up with computer love. Futureland, the plug. Hit you with a buzz. Common sense. What?
Awesome and amazing day, you all. It's Nikki B here, right here on Futureland365, right here on WOVU 95.9. And you guys, yes, I'm so excited. You guys, I'm always so excited. That's a good thing, though. You know, don't knock me. You should be excited, too. I hope you're excited each and every day that you wake up. But I'm definitely excited and grateful that you guys decided to tune in and spend your day with us, at least for 45 minutes, right? So you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of our streaming platforms. But for sure, tune in to WOVU 95.9 each and every Friday at 1 o'clock, and we'll be here. Also, you don't want to forget to sign up to our newsletter at futurelandcle.com so that you don't miss any of our events that we have going on, because we have some exciting events for you guys, for you bold entrepreneurs, innovators, and creatives to connect, culture, create. I'm so excited. I can't even get my words together. For you all to connect, to create, and find your community. There we go. I finally got it. Cam is over here laughing. But without further ado, you all, I want you all to meet, and I want to introduce to you all our guest for today. But first, our title is Creating Culture and Curating Change. Now, do you see why I was a bit tongue-tied?
Yep.
So, Cam Woods, welcome
Thank you.
to the show.
Thank you.
Are you excited and
I am.
twisted as I am?
I might become tongue twisted.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just glad to be here.
We're here to support one another. Yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here for you today. So you all, Cam, he's an entrepreneur. He's a producer, actor, and culture curator. How does it feel me saying those things to you?
Culture curator sounds like a big title.
Yeah.
I really just try my best to do what God tells me to do. Mm-hmm. Whether that be creatively or through my financial specialties or through relationships, you know, so just try to figure out how to connect the dots.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a part of my calling, my purpose.
Yeah. And that's what we're here talking about today, right?
Yeah.
Your creativity and how you connect with people. One of those things that I want to highlight and talk about, something that you're like making a big boom about, and everyone wants to be a part of it. They're at these events and in these spaces where it's a spin on networking.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So the monetary exchange.
Yes.
That sounds big. That sounds huge. So let's go a little deep here, or really just find out, how did this come about, the monetary exchange?
First of all, I just want to thank God because he gave me the vision. Mm-hmm. And as I got into my financial career, I thought to myself, like, how can I take all these relationships that I have through Camcorder media, through acting, through being a photographer, just in the rooms and creating these relationships? How can I connect the dots and create a reason for all of us to come together? Okay. So personally, I started to find a passion for my financial literacy, or me learning more about how to handle my finances.
That's huge.
And then I thought about the community, and I thought about, okay, well, I haven't been to an event that speaks on financial literacy or tries to connect the dots through entrepreneurs and financial literacy. So I was like, that's what I want to do. I would like to connect the dots. And so in the process of, you know, God giving me the download, I just started making calls. And when the concept was created, it all kind of came together organically. I met Andrea, who's one of the owners of a Cleveland Cigar and Social Lounge.
Okay.
I was at work, and she happened to come in. And once we had a conversation, I asked about her space. And she was like, I've never had that type of event happen here. So I was like, okay, well, why not give it a shot? And then from there, called a couple of my friends and was like, hey, why don't we all come together and do this event? I bring all the people I know in the room, and then we just see what happens. But I'm gonna bring some financial professionals that can speak on how to expand as an entrepreneur, how to structure your business, how to get business funding, whether it be business credit, business lines of credit, or business credit cards, or you're trying to get business credit in general and build it so you can actually leverage it. And eventually I was able to take those relationships and say, hey, I would like to do this event. Would you mind being a part? They said, sure. When they showed up, everybody showed up. And I was just grateful that everybody showed up, because I usually don't put together events. I'm usually the guy capturing it. So
capturing it or being a part of it in a sense.
I would say both.
As an actor.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did that feel also, having this vision and this idea and pitching it, and then seeing the result or the fruit of it, right?
Going through the process, I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was walking into something unknown. Once it started to come together and everybody showed up, the aftermath of it was like, wow, people actually showed up. And then from there, it was, once people had conversations and I got calls, it was like, oh, this was actually impactful. Like, it actually worked. Like, people actually connected, set up consultations with the financial professionals, and they were able to gain some knowledge on how to expand their business or just understand finances in general. So from there, it was like, okay, we got to do it again. And this time it was different because, the atmosphere changed. We got good feedback from people that helped us critique it.
How did you receive that feedback? Was it digital? Did you send out surveys? Did people reach out to you directly? Or
so some people reached out.
How was that?
Some people reached out directly. Some people responded via like DM, in regards to the social media page.
Like, hey, dog, this is how you need to get this together. This part didn't work, but this part did work. And you were open to it.
I was. The feedback helped. And then once I came to the team with it, I said, some people said they like this, they don't like that, they would appreciate this. And then we all figured out how to put it all together.
That's amazing. It's really hard in this social climate to receive criticism or constructive criticism. So that really means that you have to be in tune and in touch with yourself and open to, feedback with that. So I'm grateful that you're in that space, because myself, I have not been to an actual event, because there seems like there's always been a conflict where I couldn't come and not only support, but to actually embrace and to be a part of the community, right?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
But I've seen how it has grown. Each time that I've seen it, the space has become more and more full, right? So kudos to you and congratulations on that, and leaning into the unknown. Yeah. You have never put events on together on before.
Nope.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Darn it, wait. I think we should we pause before we get into this? Because I feel like that's going to take us further down, right?
No, we can keep going.
No, Cam, we're going to take a break because it's all good, you guys. He's excited to share exactly how he got to this space, how he had this idea to have this event, and for it to actually come together. I think he's still surprised that it is still moving and grooving and shaking and making impacts in our community. So you guys, before we go any further with Mr. Cameron Woods, we'll be right back.
Come on, y'all! We got some big news, Cleveland. Your favorite community radio station, WOVU 95.9 FM, is now on iHeartRadio. That's right. No matter where you are, you can stream the voice of the village anytime, anywhere. Get all your favorite shows, the hottest community conversations, and the music that moves the culture. Now just a tap away on iHeartRadio app. So whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, take WOVU with you. Search WOVU 95.9 FM on your iHeartRadio app. Because our voices matter 24/7, and so does the mission. WOVU 95.9 FM. Our voices united, mission driven 24/7. The voice of the community, a Burton Belcar community radio station.
Hey there, you all, and welcome back to Futureland365 podcast and radio show right here on WOVU 95.9. And it's me, Nikki B, your host for today. I'm so grateful and thankful that you guys chose to tune in with us to hear this conversation with Mr. Cameron Woods. He's a dynamic individual, you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. Like I was just telling you all, as I was introducing him, he's an entrepreneur, producer, actor, and cultural curator, and which is pretty cool. These are some of his ventures here: Woods Global Enterprises, the Monetary Exchange that we just talked about, Outlandish LLC, Camcorder Media, and Through the Woods Productions.
Yes.
Right. Listening to that, like, again, we talked about this before, but how does that make you feel knowing that you brought these ideas to life?
It helps. It makes me feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose. You know, it makes me feel as though I have a voice, and within creating whatever is created, that it allows anyone to have a voice that felt as though they may have needed permission to speak. So as I'm building myself, as I'm strengthening my relationship with God, as I'm strengthening and nurturing relationships in general, and learning about myself, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, all that comes through whatever I create.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate you stating that, because it is so important to know who you are, knowing your identity, and having a strong foundation. Yeah. So it sounds like you're navigating, and you've been on this journey and this path, right, to get where you are. You're not where you exactly want to be, but you're on path, right? Yeah. You're on target to hit the goals that you're setting forth for yourself. Yes. And kudos to you for doing that. And you talking about your voice, although you didn't say value, but knowing that your voice has value. That really says a lot about you, and that you're going to push forward in your creativity. And that's how these things have come to life. So that's amazing. I love that. So that's perfect, because I want to talk about your journey and how do we, you're a creative, you're an actor. I think, is that where you started as an actor? And now you're here putting events on, like the Monetary Exchange, like you have people on your call list when you are usually on the call list, right? Yeah. So let's talk about that. Help our audience know, like, why are we talking to Cam Woods today, right? And it's truly to highlight his journey and how he's here, and he's making such an impact and making waves within our community with connecting culture and bringing together different industries. Mm-hmm. So yeah, help us understand your journey.
Where should I start? Just a fast synopsis. Obviously grew up in Cleveland. Been through some things in life. Went through high school, played sports, and within high school, when I played sports, I had a period of time where I played in shadows, where I wasn't able to really showcase my talent based on whatever reason. I tried to pivot through that, and senior year of high school, ended up getting injured, had to sit out for like 10 games. So that kind of took away the whole basketball career or basketball dream, because at that point I was no longer high commodity. So then I went to Lakeland Community College. I was kind of indecisive on what I was going to do with my career. Still wanted to play sports. So I ended up playing for Lakeland my second year. I switched majors. I went from business to personal training because I wanted to stay connected to sports, or as far as athletics in general. From there, a couple years later, I ended up going and getting into modeling in Cleveland. And then I went to a showcase, and then it was called the Arts Showcase by Kim Myers. And I ended up going to Florida, and I went to Disney Resort, and I auditioned for some networks, and it was my first time acting. I never acted before, but they gave me a commercial. It was a Gas X commercial. And the moment where I realized that I wanted to act was when I was able to create reality within the mind for just a moment, where I walked in as me, but
Hold
then...
on, pause.
Go ahead.
Create reality within the mind?
For a moment.
For a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for me, it felt like magic. because like I walked in as myself and I was able to escape or able to express through acting to the point where whatever I did, people believed it in that moment. So it was like, okay, I felt the sense of ownership within myself after years of like playing behind other people and trying to like prove that I was worth it. Once the acting happened and I went to Florida and I went through the audition, I ended up sneaking into New York Film Academy's audition. And you know, please don't come after me for this, but I wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be those that got a casting call, but I felt led to do it. And it's ironic that I worked at the post office at the time, downtown at the plant. I heard a parent mention something about New York Film Academy, so when I went to the resort and heard New York Film Academy, I said, I gotta see what it's about. I walked in, I talked about myself for 2 minutes, where I'm from, what I've been through, and then the director gave me a chance to audition. I did a commercial, and then he invited me to come visit the school. I went to New York. I walked around. I felt like I was home. Ended up going to the school. After I finished school, I went through being homeless for about 7 months, pushed through that. Once I came through that, you know, thank God I got into a position where I finally got a job. Then I got 3 jobs. And at that point, I was able to invest in myself. So modeling started to take off. I got into some music videos. I ended up moving back to Cleveland, 2014. I had a son on the way, my son Maze.
Maze. Hey, Maze. I hope you're listening. I hope you're watching. And I'm sure that you're proud of your dad because we are here.
At that point, when I came back, I had to figure it all out again because I came back without a foundation. Well, family was my foundation, but I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. So
back to the basics.
Yep, back to the basics. So at that point, I got into different career paths, from selling cars to selling insurance to selling electricity to you name it, I did it. And eventually God gave me another download to create a platform where actors could have like an open stage, or we could create and do our thing. So Expressway came about. We did that at Grog Shop for about 7 months.
Okay.
It went
Shout out to Grog Shop as well. You guys are familiar. If you're Cleveland, born and raised, you know that is one of the spots to go to.
Oh, it really is.
They have some of the best underground concerts, right?
Yeah. A lot of talent goes through Grog Shop.
A lot of talent goes through Grog Shop. I love that.
So I did that. And then eventually, you know, life happened. So I got back to work and had to switch careers a couple of times, but I stayed in the pocket of being creative. From there, I had multiple jobs. I still was creating. I was doing movies. I did a Player Care movie. I did a couple movies that's on Netflix and Amazon and Peacock and Tubi. And so I did what I had to do to make sure I could still do what I love to do, which was act. And in that process, I met some great people that have been supportive beyond measure and have motivated me to keep going.
Yeah.
And without my support, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So it's really about the people, you know, and, you know, I just want to make sure that while I'm here, I'm doing everything I can to support them as well, but also create what God told me to create. That's
amazing. I love that you continue to stay true to your creativity. Yeah. I truly believe that is the reason why we're all here, not only to be creative, but to solve a problem. We're all created to solve a problem. And you're doing that. You're building platforms and communities for creatives, not only creatives that you're talking about as with financial specialists and other industries as well. And that's amazing to be able to connect with so many different people to bring them into one space. And so you were, for me, your fortitude, right? And your gumption and, hey, I lost this. I messed up here. Okay, now I got to figure it out, but I did it before. So let's talk about that. You know, that is your brand. I can, I will.
True.
So let's talk about that. And from there, is there a book? Is there a manifesto? Like what? How?
So with I Can, I Will, it's a mindset. Somewhat of a promise that I made to myself and I made to God. that as long as I'm breathing, whatever the purpose is that I have on this earth, I can and I will. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be corrections, you know, within my ways of doing things and how I handle things. But I'm open to learning and always being a student. I just want to get it right as best as I can before I go home, because we all will expire one day.
True.
And I just pray that when I do, everything that I've done on earth has, you know, shed light on who God is, and that is possible. And if you believe, you can achieve.
I love that. Something you just reminded me of what Lauren London said a little while ago. She was talking and having an interview, and she was talking and she stated that I just don't want to miss the mark. And it sounds like for Cameron Woods, I will. That means I don't want to miss the mark.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
I may fail, or I may have a hard lesson or go through the valley in certain times, but the goal and the intention is to not miss the mark.
Yeah.
And in those times, you know, building the lesson. I shared this with someone the other day. I stated, you know, don't forget those lessons are ladders, right? Steps to get to the next level. So use them as that. Don't like, oh man, woe is me. Because if woe was me for Cameron, he would not have been able to stumble into that room to take the audition, right?
True.
Or to start over again and not be afraid to go into a different industry to start a new career, or to find another way to have income, right? So yeah, that's really cool. I appreciate you sharing that. Creating spaces and events and industry mixers. I think networking it's a word that we overuse, I think, because I'm just like, if it's a networking event, what are we doing? Like, right? Are we going to say that we went, or do we really have an intention? So share really what is the mission and the goal of, you know, when you create these spaces such as the monetary exchange.
So the goal is to make sure that everybody leaves impacted. Everybody leaves with knowing someone that they did not know and knowing something that they did not know.
So how do you do that, right? We can say that all day long, or, you know, have the music playing, or, you know, free ticket, you get a free, you know, beverage or cocktail or something like that, or everyone put your business cards right here on the table. I've been to those too, right? But really, how do you get people to engage, and how to actually lock in and make those real connections?
Well, when it comes to the monetary exchange, there's a exercise that we do that's intentional, where you introduce yourself to someone you don't know, and then there's 3 questions that we give you in regards to the exercise.
So when they come in, you give them 3 questions?
Well, technically, when they come in, we actually have a discussion first.
Okay.
And so those financial professionals will speak on what they do, how they provide impact to the community.
So you have a panel first.
Yep. Okay. And then from there, the guests will be able to ask questions. And then we go into speed networking, and that's when you can actually engage and meet different people, ask some questions. We put a time limit on it, so eventually you'll switch and you'll talk to somebody else new. And by the time you're done, you may have met 4 or 5 people that you didn't know before you showed up.
Yeah.
And the information that's shared, it leads you to either want to create an opportunity or connect the dots to somebody else that can create the opportunity with that person.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I was wondering, like, what sets the monetary exchange apart from other networking events? We have them all the time, right? Yeah. So I think that's cool. That's dope to really have that conversation first, open it up for questions, because we all have questions, right? Right. I think a lot of times we're a little shy to ask the question, but if you have it, that means 10 other people have that same question. So that's really good. That's dope. To have that, and to have it at a cigar lounge.
Well, the first one was.
Also, you don't continue having them in the same space.
The first one, I would say every spot thus far has been organic.
Okay.
The first one was there, and once I got feedback, and once the team gave feedback, it was like, okay, let's switch the location to where it's non-smoke, because some people can't take smoke, or they don't like the smell. Yeah. Or they don't like, you know. So at that point, we were intentional about finding a space that's comfortable and conducive for everybody that's participating. So the first one was there, yes, but moving forward, you know, it'll be in an environment that's conducive to everybody.
Okay, I love that. Learning. Right.
Yeah.
It's a lesson there. Like, okay, feedback. Was that part of the feedback?
Yes,
I'm sure.
it was. It was.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Everyone don't smoke and everyone doesn't like to, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. Learning and taking that criticism or that feedback, we'll say that, and learning from it and pivoting and moving forward, so that you can have a even more greater impact with the community, and so that more people will be able to attend and make those connections as well. So we'll pivot a little bit, but not too much, right?
Right.
So let's talk about the role of multimedia. So let's talk about Camcorder Media,
Okay.
Outlandish, and Through the Woods Productions. So how do you tell stories there? How do you raise those voices, and how were those platforms created as well?
Okay, so with Camcorder Media, that began when I realized that I wanted to be behind the camera more often than not. I was working at T-Mobile, and eventually, I worked with T-Mobile for like 5 years. So eventually I resigned, and I picked up a camera and didn't look back. So that's how Camcorder Media started. And then through relationships, opportunities came. Me and the team was able to secure some corporate contracts that made it, a lane that allowed us to be able to still take care of ourselves. Granted, I always kept things going in other ways to make sure money was coming in, but
this like relieved some stress.
Yeah.
And this way you can lean more into the creative and creating those opportunities. Yeah.
I like to call them like pure moments. So initially my mindset with the photography and videography was to capture pure moments. Capture things in a way that you would like to experience them. Capture things in a way that I capture a moment where people will look back at the picture and say, wow, I remember that exact moment.
Yeah.
Whether it's a smile, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a reaction, whatever the case may be, any type of celebratory event or event in general, there's always pure moments to capture. Yeah. From there, when we get to Outlandish, now that's the concept that...
It sounds wild, outlandish.
Yes, yes. But it's a concept that came together through me and Jacqueline Smith, who's the CEO or COO of Woods Global Enterprises. And so we had the conversation and we were talking about community. We were talking about mental health. We were talking about men having a platform to be able to express and articulate how they feel without having to apologize for it. Women as well. So we came with the concept, and then, we structured it, and it's a tour actually. We had a orientation with a few of my guys. We had the conversation just to kind of get their feedback. And what we learned is that creating this platform for men and women will be very beneficial when it comes to healing and when it comes to building relationships and kind of redefining self in the process. From there, Through the Woods Productions, that's actually when it comes to the film. So, whether it be short films
as well. That was really good.
So I have one called Rides that was released last year. It's a 12-minute short film, but it's very suspenseful. So, that's kind of how that became, because it was like, okay, there has to be a lane where I can express through this way as well, because I write,
storytelling, and
I'm acting and I'm producing and things of that nature. So Through the Woods Production gives that opportunity for me to still exercise those skills.
Yeah. So guys, do you understand and see why I'm saying that this young man is definitely dynamic, right? He's an entrepreneur, he's an actor, a director, all the things, curating spaces for us, right? And connecting us and making sure that we have the tools and the resources that we need to be able to flourish and be our best self, so that we can continue to be dynamic as well. I truly believe that all of us are. We're not just one-sided. We have to tap into that creative part of us to find out just how dynamic and deep that we really are. So you guys, before we go any deeper with Mr. Cameron Woods here, we'll be right back after these messages. Hey there, you all, and welcome back to Futureland365. It's your girl, Nikki B, right here on 95.9 WOVU. And we're here with the awesome, the amazing, dynamic Cameron Woods. Hey, I'm glad you're still here.
We still going.
We're still going. And like we were just talking about before we came back, man, this time went by fast.
It
right?
did. It did.
It's something when you're talking about yourself and you're sharing good news with people. It just goes by faster than what you expect.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. Then you wonder if you said everything you needed to say.
Right. And you never do. You never really say everything you need to say, because if that was a good, we need more time. Yeah. Because I know that you all are listening like, well, I want to know what happened in New York. You were homeless. What did you do? Where did you eat? Where did you live? Where were you in cars? Were you on the streets? Were you in different homes? I know you guys have those questions. Why? Because I do. I have those questions as well. Like, how did you keep going? Right? We know he says he has a relationship with God, but truly, realistically, what was happening and what was going on in your head? But that's for another day, and that's for another conversation. You guys tune in. You may be having that very soon, you guys, okay? So let's jump back into our conversation and stay on time and being honest, because they know I go deep, Cam. I be trying. I'll be like, don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it. So let's shift a little bit. We're going to talk about impact, identity, and innovation, and how you find the rhythm, right? Although I don't really care for the word balance, because is there truly a balance in life? In anything that we do? What I found is that there's a rhythm to find, right? There's a rhythm. Like, how do you find that? And so for you, because you are dynamic and you are well in a lot of things that you do, you started out as an athlete and here you are an actor.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. But I think the same tenacity and the same intuition feel is there as well. But now you're no longer in the shadows. You're in the pocket. You know who you are. You know why you're doing these things, right? So let's go back, girl, because I be going off topic all the time. So let's talk about balancing multiple ventures across entertainment, branding, and culture with purpose and authenticity. So how do you keep, staying authentic while exploring these different ventures?
Honestly, I don't stray away from who I am as a person. I try to surround myself with those that are authentic as well. Whether it be my partner, whether it be my family, whether it be my friends, whether it be those that I'm in collaboration with.
How do you find those people? Do you have an assessment for them to fill out?
Honestly, I think it's really just, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And based on it showing up, it's up to you to recognize that it's happening. I've had to lose a lot of myself in the process of gaining a lot of relationships.
Repeat that, rewind that, say it again.
I've lost a lot of myself within gaining a lot of relationships. So in the process, I try my best to listen when I'm being advised or critiqued. And when you ask how does balance get created, I can't create it myself. I can only lean on those that are backing me, those that are supporting me. So that's how I keep the balance. And then also knowing that you only have so much time in a day. And in that midst of the time, a wise woman once told me, shout out to Jax. You have to.
I felt that in my shot. That's where it was going.
You have to manage activity within time, because no one can measure time. So if you measure the activity, then that's how you create the balance. And for me, it's like, you can't do 5 things at once, but you can do 2. You can go to work and build something else, but you can't go to work, build something else, and act unless you have a structured schedule that allows you to do that. But everything happens at a certain time. Yeah. If that makes sense. So.
Yeah, I heard Jim Rome say, it's one of my favorites to listen to. He stated that if you don't plan your day will run you, right? So plan your day. or you will lose track of time. Like, oh shoot, I meant to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. No. Make a list of 10 things, right? Circle the top 3 priority things that you need to get done. And, you know, for the goal to move ahead, right? Yeah. Because we don't get all those things done. It's not realistic. You usually get 3 things done. You get those 3 things done, you're going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel confident. And guess what? You're going to do the same thing tomorrow. But you have to schedule those things, though.
True.
Right?
Even if it's just as small as making your bed when you get up in the morning.
Major.
That's a W. That starts the momentum of
the day. That's huge. I love that so much. So with that being said, you know, what advice would you give the version of you 10 years ago? So let's do the timeline. So 2025, 2015.
I could say around 2015. Oh wait, okay, that's when I just moved back from New York.
Wow. I didn't realize
and my
that.
son was born that year. My son was born that year. For me, the advice I would give to myself in 2015: slow down. It's not that serious. And for me, I felt like throughout my life, I've been racing to the finish line. And to be transparent, skipping some steps that I didn't realize I was skipping until people started acknowledging, hey, you know, you just skipped that whole down there. Yeah, you were supposed to stop. And for me, what I've learned throughout life and about myself is that I've been trying to prove myself to myself for a very long time. And I also learned that that's unhealthy. So 10 years ago, I was at a peak of trying to prove myself because I just came back from New York. I just came from being homeless. I just started making a name for myself within the industry. And then my life transitioned in a way that I had to make some adjustments to make sure that my son knew who his father was and to make sure that the foundation that I didn't have necessarily, he has. So I had to switch my purpose, and that created a different level of balance. And life continues to do that, where, you know, the more you attain, the more is required. And that balance, having an opportunity to be able to articulate how I feel, because a lot of times I didn't express how I felt. I would just suppress it, which is still something I'm working on to this day. And that's part of the reason why I like my creative ways. I express myself through them. More so louder than I do verbally myself at times. So yeah, I would tell myself, slow down, it's not that serious. And to really count the blessings and take account of my inventory of relationships that are around me. Because when you have support around you and you don't recognize it's there, you miss the mark. And we just talked about not missing the mark. So everything counts.
Yeah, that's really good. And I definitely want to highlight and share this. But you're continuing staying in your creative and not giving up on that and not giving up on your innovation, because that's exactly what we do here. You all, we highlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives, right? Yeah. But I don't want to negate or, you know, minimize that you still hold down a 9-to-5. True. While doing these things. True. So what you're talking about is keeping a calendar. You have to, because you will not be able to do all the things, right? Or focus on one particular project or one venture at a time, with having this level of a schedule or a calendar. So kudos to you for doing that. Man, I would just want to continue having this conversation with you, Cam. But I know that we are on a time limit, and so share with everyone how they can follow you. I mean, just tell everybody how they can follow you. You
can follow me at I am Cameron Woods. When it comes to the Monetary Exchange, at the Monetary Exchange, it will be September 25th. Doors open up at 5:30. I would love for everybody to be in attendance, you know, be able to show up and make some connections. You can also follow me on Expressway by CW and Camcorder Media LLC on all platforms. And yeah, that's how you can get in contact with me.
I love that. So y'all blow up his DMs. I will. I love that. I'm going to adopt that as well. So if I start using that hashtag, you ain't mad at you.
Hey, we can, we will.
We can, we will. I love that. That's exactly what we want to talk about and highlight and continue the conversation. It's we can, we will. Well, we definitely have to connect with one another, different industries, all across different disciplines.
Yes.
And to continue doing that. So you guys, okay, well, here is the time where I share some of my key takeaways from this conversation today. And I know you see me over here jotting and writing down little notes like, what is this girl writing? She my therapist, right? Well, let me share with you some of my key takeaways from Cam, you all. So first of all, slow down. It's not that serious. Slow down, right? I think when we slow down, we're able to taste our food as we're eating, right? Taste and see that it is good. Well, truly taste and see that the Lord is good.
Yes, indeed.
And that's your relationship there. I wanted to touch on that a little bit. But also something huge, and I don't think we talk about this enough, is that be who you are so that you can be who you are. What I mean by that is, as you go along in the process of becoming, there's a you that has to be shed. There's a you that has to be sacrificed. There's habits. There's stinking thinking, as I would call them, right? There's stones in your heart that needs to be released and shaken out, because you can't be the same person that you need to get to the next level.
Very true.
So the next level requires a new version of you. Can't be the same person.
Yes.
So I'm grateful and glad that you highlighted that. And this is the last thing. Don't play in the shadows. No, dance in the light. And if you do go in the shadows, don't be afraid to shine your light. That was good.
That was good.
That was good. I like that too.
That was good. I
didn't even have that in my mind. I felt that in my shana. That was good right there. So we're going to end on a high there, right? If you have to go to the shadows, don't be afraid to shine your light. Just like Cameron Woods here is definitely sharing his. We just talked creating culture, curating change with Cameron Woods.
Thank you.
This was an amazing, awesome conversation. And I can't wait to go deeper. Because it's coming, you all. It's coming.
Looking forward to it.
All right, you guys. Well, that's it. That's all. Nikki B here, right here on Futureland365 on WOVU 95.9. See you guys next time. Peace.